अच्छा, अभी ना कुछ कंपनीज की वो आई हुई है इंटर्नशिप वगैरह ना, वो
हम्म,
फ्रेशर्स वगैरह को दे रहे हैं।
ठीक है।
तो उसमें मतलब लाइक उनको जस्ट फ्रेशर्स चाहिए जो मतलब सिर्फ यूनिवर्सिटी वगैरह में पढ़ रहे हैं, मतलब कंप्यूटर का थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड है, तो उनमें अप्लाई करना सही है क्या?
यार एनीथिंग वर्थ अप्लाइंग फॉर श्योर। अपॉर्चुनिटीज आपको जब भी नजर आए आप उसको फौरन अप्लाई करें, फौरन परसू करें। डोंट वेट फॉर इट, राइट, कि मैं ये पढ़ लूंगा तो उसके बाद अप्लाई करूं। आप अपनी प्रिपरेशन करते रहें, मेक योरसेल्फ रेडी। लेकिन ये कि इन बिटवीन और ड्यूरिंग दिस कोर्स ऑफ स्टडी अगर आपको कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी नजर आती है, जंप इनटू इट, राइट, बिकॉज अपॉर्चुनिटी आती हो जाती रहती है, लेकिन जो जो अपॉर्चुनिटीज आ रही हैं उसको ग्रैब करना ही असल ट्रिक होती है। जो आपके सामने ऑप्शंस नजर आ रहे हैं, जस्ट ग्रैब इट। सो जो जो आप बता रहे हो अभी कि देयर फ्यू अपॉर्चुनिटीज फॉर द इंटर्न्स और जो कॉलेज स्टूडेंट या जो पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं उनके लिए, तो दैट्स गुड, राइट। बट द थिंग इज दैट ओनली थिंग दैट यू हैव टू कीप इन माइंड के ट्राई टू काइंड ऑफ लिटिल बिट अपना फोकस ध्यान में रखें कि लेट्स से आई हैव टू मेक अ कैरियर इन आईटी, इन एनी फील्ड इन आईटी, राइट। सो आईटी से रिलेवेंट हो, मिलता जुलता हो, देन इट मेक्स सेंस कि एटलीस्ट यू आर ऑन योर पाथ। समटाइम you will find the opportunities which are not exactly matching your, let's say, career aspirations, but at the same time they are still kind of bit related, right? So it's not totally off track. So as long as it's kind of bit related, at least it give you some at least initial start, right? The important thing is that it's very hard to find a job of exact match, right? Exact your profile, exact your skill is very hard. And so you always have to find a job which is closer or at least somehow relevant to your skill, and then you start that, and then you start building on that, right? And then once you spend some time, then you switch the job to your more preferred job, right? So whole idea is to start with something which is kind of bit related, might not be exactly related, but let's start from somewhere. So anyone getting an opportunity, I think grab it. Even if it is unpaid opportunity, just for the sake of learning, go for it, right? Because
Okay.
in the beginning of the career, you have to enrich your resume, right? You have to put few things that can attract others, and that can attract the employers, and that can attract the recruiters, and that can differentiate you from the others, right? So these things, let's say, so you have an internship, 100 other people are applying, they don't have any internship. So definitely who has an internship, who has done some base knowledge better than others, so they will be preferred, right? So you have to stand out in the crowd, right? So that's the whole idea.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let me run through few slides. I prepared few slides, and in between, anyone has any question, feel free to ask me. We can, because there's not many audience today, so we'll just go with that. And some of you might be familiar, but my idea is to give you that these are the few essentials things that you need to do to make a career, right? So you, if you have done some of these things, is good. If you're not, then you should try to focus on it, right, going forward. So normally this is the point, right? So when we are in the beginning of the career, or we are switching a career, we are moving from one career to another career. So sometimes it's hard to find a way to start, right? Is that you have so many things right now, you will see that there is just information overload right now, right? You have too much information, we have too many fields, we have too many technologies, we have too many, let's say, even in cybersecurity, tons of technology. In coding and development, you come to that, there are a bunch of things, right, happening. Front end, back end. Front end have its own tools, back end has its own tools. And then you come to, let's say, networking, it has its own flavors. And any field you go, it has its own thing, right? So when looking someone start want to make a career out of, let's say, IT or any other field, but in general, I would more talk about IT. So you totally get lost, right? And that's where definitely idea is to put some energy in certain focus areas, right? To make sure that you don't get lost with all this overload of the information. And important thing is always to keep a focus on your career aspirations and long-term goals, right? And for to achieve the long-term goals, there are always the short-term steps that we have to take. So normally these are the challenges, right? I've talked to a lot of people, and these are just my points I've compiled based on some of the discussion I do with many people on a regular basis. A lot of people are want to make a career in IT, but they have not done the IT studies, right? Let's say they are in commerce and arts and some other career, even in medicines, and they want to make a career in IT. So people ask these questions. And same thing, information overload. There's too much information. I don't know where to start. And I just go and Google, and I find thousands of the links and thousands of the things, and I don't know where to start, right? Some people have some basic knowledge, but they don't know how to steer this basic knowledge to more advanced knowledge to develop towards a career path, right? Because in order to have a career path, you have to have some intermediate to advanced level knowledge in certain areas, right? Let's say we all are here. Some of us might be having interest in the coding and development. Some might go cybersecurity. Some might do something else. Some will go data sciences, right? So we have to focus our effort in certain way. We have to pick one thing. We cannot do everything. No one can do everything. So definitely, uh, end of the day, it's important to focus the efforts and put your energies in certain direction. Some people say that I have done some study, but I'm not getting interview calls. I have CV, I'm applying, but I'm not sure why I'm not getting any attention from the employers. At the same time, some people want to make a career in IT, but they are not techie, right? People think it's an assumption, it's an perception that anyone working in IT is a techie, is super good with the technology and text oriented things. That's not true. There are a lot of fields in IT which are related to IT, but they don't need to be a super techie, right? So one can make a career in IT without being a super technical person, right? So, and this is happening in my everyday job. I work with a lot of account executives. I work with a lot of sales people, project manager, account executives, and business analysts. So a lot of people I work with, they are not very technology oriented in a sense. They just use their tools and they use their skills, whatever they have. There's a lot of sales people I work. They're super good people, very smart people. They don't know much technology, but they know how to interact with the people. They know how to communicate, how to grab the customer attention. They have other skills, right? So the way it works is that they take people like who are techie people. We call it sales engineer or technical sales engineer or something like that. They take them with their calls, so they do the customer handling, they do the sales pitch, and end of the day, technical question answered by the technical people. So in any way, you don't have to be a super technology oriented or techie guy to make a career in IT. This is very important. Your techie is very good and is wonderful, but at the same time, there are sub fields or related field which can give you a good career in IT. So any questions so far before I jump into this one? This one is need a little bit more attention.
कि समटाइम्स ऐसा होता है कि ना हम टेकी तो नहीं होते, वी हैव नॉट मतलब इतनी लॉजिक बिल्डिंग अच्छी नहीं होती है, और बट हमें इम्प्रूव करना है, ऑब्वियसली बात है, आगे एक करियर बनाना है आईटी पे। तो क्या क्या ऐसी टेक्निक्स हैं कि हम एक प्रॉपर लॉजिक बिल्डिंग इम्प्रूव करें, क्योंकि ये आगे जाके तो एक एक्सक्यूज़ बन जाएगा कि मैं एक टेकी नहीं था, तभी मैं ये नहीं कर पाया। तो अगर नहीं है तो हम अपने आप को टेकी कैसे बनाएँ?
Right. No, good question. So yeah, this actually slide deck is mainly about that. If you are not techie, how to become techie in your field, right? And the whole idea for this deck that we are presenting today is to lead you towards a career path, because eventually whatever we study, whatever we spend our energies on, we all want to make a career out of it, right? We want to make a respectful, reasonable living for ourselves and our families, right? Eventually we all have to find a job or do some sort of self employed consulting sort of thing, whatever, right? So we have to make a living out of it. So definitely we have to polish our skills and study in certain direction. That's the whole idea. But I will tell you one thing, and this is very important, right? You always have to make sure, right? Technology will come and go. Today we have AI, tomorrow we'll have something else, right? So the technology trends will come and go. The important thing for everyone, I insist a lot to everyone, you have to make sure that you apply your common sense. Technology will come and go. You have to make sure that no matter which field you are in, you always have to make sure that use your common sense. And this apparently this common sense is not that common these days, right? A lot of people just go with the flow, whatever everyone else is doing, without putting their brains at work to understand that logically does it make sense. Because for anything to work, it has to make sense. It has to make a business sense. It has to make some technology sense. It has to make some sense, right? You are in this class right now because it making sense to you to make a career in IT, right? So what I'm saying that when you study something, when you adopt a career, always keep your senses active, and make sure that you try to build your logic around that and use your common sense. I'm telling you that I work with a lot of directors and VPs. They're smart people. They are not smart because they know the technology. They don't know any technology, because we are working with very high tech technologies with the cybersecurity and so many other things. And these VPs don't know technology, but and they do very critical decision making. They make decisions which can bring the company down. They make $1 million, multi-million dollar decisions to do things in a certain way or not to do certain things, which can affect the company very badly, right? If with their right or wrong decisions. So what happened that these peoples, when company hires them, they are not very technical people. They are not technology oriented. They don't know probably much about the technical solutions out there. But what they have, they are smart people. They use their common sense. They use their common sense. Does it make sense? Does it make a business sense? Does it have the enough risk appetite? Can we take this risk? Like, so use your just common sense. So no matter what you do in your career, you have to make sure that use your common sense. This is very I'm and when you go deep into technology, what happened that you get away from the common sense. You start thinking more of a that particular things will work in a loop or array or whatever, right? So you go more technology oriented. So I'm trying to say that technology knowledge is good. You have to use that in your favor, but at the same time, make sure that it has to make sense. And in order to make sense, you have to apply your logic, common sense, right? So make sure that you always have your common sense intact. Yes, Shan.
अच्छा, मैं एक पॉइंट ये ऐड करूं कि जरूरी नहीं है कि आप यानी हाईली टेक हो तो आप आईटी में करियर कर सकते हैं. आई वॉज नॉट हाईली टेक, बट मैंने 15 years टेक्नोलॉजी में काम किया, आईटी में काम किया. आई वॉज अ क्लाइंट सर्विस मैनेजर, राइट, इन आईटी सॉफ्टवेयर हाउस. सो जो मेरी जो डोमेन थी वो नॉलेज थी. आई गॉट द फाइनेंशियल डोमेन नॉलेज प्लस आईटी थोड़ा सा बैकग्राउंड. तो मैंने उस डोमेन के अंदर रहते हुए बहुत कुछ सीखा और मैं जो है आई वाज प्रोमोटेड टू क्लाइंट मैनेजर आईटी सर्विसेज. तो ज़रूरी नहीं है कि अगर आप फुली टेक हो, यानी आप कोई प्रोग्रामर हो, कोडर हो, तभी आप उसमें करियर बना सकते हैं. आप जस्ट एक सिंपल एमबीए भी हो तो आप उसमें आईटी के अंदर अपना करियर बना सकते हैं. ये मैं पॉइंट ऐड कर रहा हूँ.
Absolutely, absolutely, and this is what it is, right? And this Rizwan, his nickname is Shan, is a very good example of that, as he said, right? He was in financial industry and he moved towards IT, and it all because you have the common sense and knowledge that you can build upon, right? So you don't have to be you have to think logically. In my view is that as long as you think logically, you apply your logic in certain direction, you will be successful in your career. It doesn't have to be super techy as long as you have your senses intact. And I've seen very commonly, especially in North America, in Canada, America, Europe, you will see very common that people switch the career, especially the young kids, and even in the later ages. Here it's easy, right? In Pakistan and our back home countries, it's not that easy. But here people just think that, okay, I don't have my interest anymore, right? Let's say I was in medical field, I was doing some medical related profession. I don't feel that I belong to this area, or they just switch the career. And a lot of lot of those people come to IT, right? And I've given you example before. One of my nephew, actually, he was done the same thing. He was in pharmaceutical research. He was doing a research on medicines, and he was attached with some R&D based job in an hospital, and he was doing very good actually here in Canada. And after spending 7 8 years, he all of a sudden decided that this is not enough money. I'm not getting enough paid in this job and all that, and it doesn't help me with my long term goals and so on and so forth. So he went through some IT courses, and now he found a job, right? And he's working. So I know that it's not that easy in certain part of the world, especially, but in North America it's kind of doable, right? So because people more care about your skills than your degree. Unfortunately, in some parts of the world, they always stick your degree to your job, which is not relevant anymore in this world, in a sense that it doesn't have to be exact match, right? You can do BCom or BA, but still you can be a very good IT professional or very high-end coder sort of thing, right? So it's these barriers are no more there in the today's world. So yes, so keep yourself open, apply your common sense and logic, and do your best, right? This is the whole thing. Apply your common sense, logic, and keep doing your best. Doing the best is the most important thing, which requires throughout the life. So these are the 8 steps. I will quickly go through, and we'll probably jump into some of the details also. And this slide deck actually I made more. I try to keep some part generic and some part are kind of. I just try to give an idea that if you want to make a career in cybersecurity or networking, what you should study. But same applies to any field you go for, right? So important thing is that when you want to adopt a career, right? The important thing is that you have to develop a knowledge, know that stuff, right? So you have to develop some knowledge in your desired domain. You have to go through some study, you have to go through some practice labs, do some projects. So make sure that you become good in what you want to adopt a career in, right? And again, developing a knowledge and then refining that knowledge with the help of some projects or lab, that's important. Point number 3 is also very important. Industry is more relevant. As I said, industry, IT industry in general, care less about your degree that you have. They care more about the career certifications and that you have, because career certifications are endorsement that yes, whatever you are saying in your CV, that you went through some curriculum, some course, and they took your exams and you are certified that you have that base knowledge. Because if you don't have any certification and you put your lot of technology in your CV, there is no proof that you can do that. Although in the interview they can ask question, maybe you can answer them, but that is getting difficult now, because with a lot of people in interview start fooling the employers and interviewers with the AI tools, and they have multiple laptops or devices, and somehow I don't know, this lot of things you read on the internet now. Lot of people are getting, employers are complaining that they hired a guy and the guy was actually fooled them during the interview somehow using some technology, and someone was assisting them with the interview, so they were able to fool the interview. So important thing is that go through some career certification. At least you get some endorsement from some industry perspective, whether it's a Google or IBM, CompTIA, Cisco, whatever the your domain is, right? It could be anything, Microsoft, it could be any domain in your area of interest. Whoever is offering the career certification, go for it. And number 4 is the building the CV, resume. This is a resume is our actually profile, right? Like this is what recruiters or employers see. So we have to make sure that we have a neat and clean and at the same time targeted resume, which can actually gain the attention. That the whole idea for resume is to gain the attention so they can call you for an interview. An interview is the time then you have the chance to speak up and present yourself. So resume is your first step towards the getting the attention. So it has to be good enough. And the number 5 is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also important these days, because what happened that a lot of jobs are coming on LinkedIn now. Give me a second. Huh? Call is coming. Yeah, sure. Come on. Take it. So LinkedIn is important these days, right? So number 6 is the get well prepared for your interview. And number 7, a lot of people ask for professional references again for the same reason. A lot of people are start fooling and bluffing, so they want to make sure that they have someone they can say yes, no about you. And number 8 is job hunting. So these 8 steps are kind of way to at least gain some attention. So first step is, acquiring the base knowledge. The base knowledge is super important in the sense that before you go to interview, before you make CV, you have to make sure you have a certain domain that you want to make a career in, and you gain the knowledge in that area, right? And again, the same thing is these days is not that you have to always have to spend money. You can gain a lot of knowledge, very expert knowledge, advanced level knowledge, with tons of free material which is available online. I am a big fan of using the free material. I don't encourage people to go and buy the courses and certifications and all these things. First, go through the free material, and after that, yes, there are times when you need to pay for courses or some the certifications, but at least a lot of stuff is freely available, to go for it first. And I always encourage that once you go in your job, a lot of companies pay for your exams and the study. So use your company budget for those, right? So try to gain knowledge, free knowledge, until you find a job, and after that, use your company budget to enhance and polish for the certification, and let them pay for your skills, because the skill you develop is going to be used for them, right? So yeah, so you have to become from basics to at least intermediate level knowledge, at least with the free stuff. I think intermediate to advanced level knowledge these days you can gain with lots of free stuff. And when I made this slide deck, actually, I was teaching a course of network and cybersecurity, so I kind of gave some tips on the network and cybersecurity courses, and we have been gone through those things also in our course. That what type of study you can do in network and cybersecurity. It could be any. I can just change network and cybersecurity to your domain, and just make sure that you gain knowledge in that domain, right? And don't rush into that. I don't push anyone to rush into that. Give yourself some time. Make sure that you spend time and energies and efforts to gain the knowledge, refine your concept. Means that if someone asks you the question in an interview, you should be able to explain it eloquently, right? In a comprehensive way. You should be able to satisfy the interviewer. So you have to give yourself some time. Don't just think that you take a 1 month course and you'll be ready. So you give yourself a 6 month to a year time at least, to make yourself and your knowledge to a level which can become intermediate to some advanced level knowledge. Don't expect people giving you a job based on your basic knowledge. Don't lot of employers just don't want to spend their cycles and money on someone who doesn't have any knowledge, and they have to build from scratch, because they always risk that the moment you gain all that knowledge, you will gonna resign and find another job. So they want to get someone with intermediate to advanced level knowledge. So you start giving the productivity, do you start doing the projects, and I start doing the desired work. And meanwhile, they train you with the advanced knowledge that they need, right? So make yourself at least to the intermediate to level, so people can at least see that you know something. You can start delivering some output, and then they try to develop you with more knowledge. And as I said, 6 months to a year, spend few hours a day, and it's a matter of dedication and effort, right? The more dedicated you are, the more efforts you pay, the more practice you do, you will become good, and you have to stand out in the crowd. That's the whole thing, right? There are thousands of people saying themselves IT professionals, so you have to stand out in that crowd, and you have to be better than everyone else, right? So in order to be better than everyone else, you have to have more knowledge, you have to have more skills, you have to develop more practice session, you have to go through some rigorous labs and all that, so you can be better than others. You have to be better than others. Now these days people think IT is very easy, so everyone comes to IT. It's not that easy. It's easy for those who spend time and energy, and they bring their skill and knowledge level to the level which is better than others, right? So don't take it for granted. Don't think that you will just go through one single course and you will become expert. No. Whoever have the patience, dedication, and at the same time some persistence to stay connected, keep doing it, no matter you're not getting interview calls, but still you have to make sure that you're studying, you're doing certifications, you're doing one exam after another exam, one lab after another lab. So your skill level is better than others. Every day you have to improve, you have to make sure that you study constantly. Unfortunately, in IT, this is lifetime study. When you start and until you go, you have to keep studying, keep certification. And for me, it's like 25 plus a year, right? I did my first certification in, I don't know, 1996, 97, probably, Microsoft one. And I'm still doing it. I just did last one 2 months ago, right? So this is part of life. This is the part of the deal in IT, that you have to constantly update your skills and knowledge. And you have to make sure that You recertify with the latest knowledge, because that's the reason most of these certification are valid only for 2 years, some are for 3 years at the most. And because they know that technology changes every 3 year, 2 years, technology changes, so you have to keep studying. This is a lifetime deal. So this is for the networking part. There are few resources, free resources, that I think some of these we went through that in our networking class. We went through this detail, that these are the things that you can do. And there was another one, I think, Google Cybersecurity, Google Networking, Bits and Bytes of the Networking. That's also a good course. And same, this is for cybersecurity path. These are the courses and some of the things that you can do to gain the advanced knowledge. And this is same thing, if you are for coding, you are for data sciences or any other field, same thing applies. There will be courses, freeware courses that you can do. There are certifications you can do. There are many things that you can do freely, right? To make sure that you gain some essential knowledge in that particular field, whatever it is. And once you gain the knowledge, because let's say you go through these courses, you develop the theoretical concept, you know that what it is, right? So when someone is asking for, let's say, phishing attack, you know what is phishing attack. Now the thing is that you have to do some practice lab, and some make sure that you polish your knowledge and brush up your concepts with some project, some lab, some tools, something. Just this thing is important to show off your skills in your CV, right? In your resume, you have to say that yes, it's not that I only went through certification, I know the theory. I know the theory as well as I know the practical. I have done the project. I have done this lab. I've used this tool. I know exactly how it works, right? So you have to make sure that you're giving some confidence to your employer that I am better than others. I have done things which others have not done. Maybe others just taken few courses, others just gone through some certification which were just theory, but I'm better than others. So I have to make sure that I am better than others by doing all these things, which is includes your lab project, because this is very important. Everyone wants to bring someone who is ready to start giving them the output. And once you have the hands-on experience, you have the theoretical concept, you are kind of good to go, right? So these labs and projects are important. In the networking path, this is again for the networking. Every field has its own. So there are free labs available that someone can do. There are free tools available that people can use to brush up their networking concepts, and this is what is used in the industry today. So these projects and these tools help them to give some confidence to the employers. And similarly, in the cybersecurity also, I have, I think, a separate slide on cybersecurity, which the tons of tools that you can use to show off your skills. And certification, as I said, certification is one of the most important thing, right? So this is for networking, but every field have certification in their area. Right now, on the Coursera, IBM has many certifications. Google have many certifications, and there are many certifications. Some of them are paid, some of them are free. Especially in Coursera, I think financial aid option is available, which is a great option for everyone. So we have to make sure that whoever is doing is obtain the career certification in their field, whether it's data sciences, whether it's coding, cybersecurity, networking, whatever it is. You have to gain the knowledge. You have to do some projects. You have to use some tools, and at the same time get the certification. And certification are the must. People are saying that you can enter into the IT without having a bachelor's degree or master's degree or any degree in IT. Yes, that's true. But at the same time, they need some endorsement that you can deliver what they need, and that normally endorsement come through these labs, projects, and certifications. The certifications are mostly very well respected because they are very controlled. You have to, most of the time, you have to go through some test center to write the exam. Some of them are you can do at home through some material, and but more professional one asks you to go through some test centers, and some of them are you can do online, but sometimes they are proctored, so they keep control of your camera. They make sure that no one else in the room. They make sure that you are not using any other tool and all those things. So go for certification. Bottom line is that, and this certification you have to keep doing it. If you done it today, after 2 3 years you have to renew it to make sure that the new technology developed in this time, new concepts came, new methods came, you are aware of that. So certification are the must, are a must, I would say, in IT, no matter which domain of the IT you are in. This is for cybersecurity, few certifications that one can start with. And Coursera have many certifications, and most of them can become free after you apply for financial aid. So go for it. especially Google and IBM have done a great job in Coursera. They have made a lot of certifications free, and same for Google, same for IBM. They have certification for networking, cybersecurity, coding, programming, data sciences, AI. So in your field, you have to go for those certifications. So this is again more focused on cybersecurity. This is one of the ISC2 has ISC2 is a UK-based organization. It's a very well respected organization for the cybersecurity certification and the courses. So they had a certification certified in cybersecurity CC, and this is free these days actually. This is exam voucher for 2023. 2024 is the same voucher, just end with 2024. So this is a good certifications, right? So same for any field, right? So if you are looking for some other area, look for the certification available in that domain. So once you have done with your study, you gain the knowledge, you done the certification, you have done some project, so you are pretty much good to go, right? Means that you are kind of ready to apply for the jobs, right? So give me a second. So guys, give me 5 minutes. A technician came actually. So let me give me 5-10 minutes, right? I'll be back. Sorry, actually, technician is AC was not working, so the technician here to fix it. Okay, so important thing, what we have done so far: gain the knowledge, attain the knowledge, become good in you what you do, right? Get certified, get yourself with something which is better than others. After you have done all of that, you have to make sure that you can present all of that nicely in a resume or CV, curriculum vitae, whatever. So, and that will be kind of showing off what you have done so far, right? So, the few points for the resume, right? Because resume is your kind of first introduction, right? The first thing that an employer sees, right? And you have to make sure that it is appealing, it is attaining the attention, it is getting the attention from the employers. And so resume have to be appealing. It doesn't have to be a very heavy. What I have seen recently, or I've constantly see it, people try to make resume very heavy, 4 or 5 pages easily, especially for those who have done few years of experience. They try to write every single thing that they have done or they know. I don't think that is liked by the employer. No one wants to go through 5 pages of resume unless you have, let's say, a 25, 30 years of experience. Then makes sense. But for someone with a few years of experience or someone new to the field, if you don't have to put a lot of stuff which is non-relevant, right? A lot of people try to put some non-relevant thing which doesn't make sense. So you have to make sure that resume is to the point. Is gaining the attention. It's appealing to the employer, and it is to the point in a sense that it should not be more than, in my view, 1, 2, 3 pages, max 3 pages, in my view. I don't recommend even myself. I try to make sure that my CV is not exceeding 3 pages, right? Although I have almost 25 plus years of experience, I've worked in many organizations and so on. But at the same time, because I know that no one wants to go through these 5 pages, right? Is they are not reading a book, right? They have to just make sure that they look at quickly. They know that what skills you have and what you want to achieve in your career. You have certain certifications, just quickly, right? So they can call you for the interview. The whole objective of the resume is to make a call, make yourself good enough that they can call you for interview. So few things for the resume, don't have to be super heavy, right? Important thing is that, let me, few things. Okay, it don't have to be very heavy. That's one thing. Second thing is that you have to have a summary or profile or something like that, just quickly telling them what you want to achieve, what type of job you're looking for, or what type of skills you are bringing in, something like that, just to give them a summary. So if it's making sense to them, they will maybe move forward. Otherwise, they will say that this candidate is not right fit. You have to have your contact information. People put the full address. I don't think it's needed. I don't think it's good. It's against the privacy, right? So you don't have to give your full home address. You can give your maybe city or area, that to give them an idea that you are geographically which facility or which vicinity you are based on. So just to give them idea in case if they have to call you for the in-person work or in-person meeting where you are located, but you don't have to give exact home address. Okay, your email must be there, phone number should be there in my view, and plus just the city is enough in my view. But a city or maybe the area you are living in, that's it. You must have a LinkedIn profile that should be shown in your resume, because LinkedIn have more information than your CV. We'll see it later on. So LinkedIn is very important, and LinkedIn profile or link or URL you have to mention in your CV. And you have to make sure that all the achievements you have done in terms of education, professionally that you are doing, you are mentioning that, especially the certification and some of the courses you can also mention if courses were relevant. And the key areas, right? Especially the area that you want to make a career in. Let's say you want to make a career in certain areas, so you can highlight that. If so, employers offering those kind of job, they can see that you are particularly interested in certain areas, right? And you always have to mention whatever the hands-on work you have done, any projects, labs, tools. It has to be something substantial in a way. Don't put something very trivial, very silly, very simple, right? They will not be respectful, in a sense that you have to make sure that you show them something which is substantial, right? It has some weight, something which is not easily doable. Mention any previous professional experience if you have. And also these last 2 points, I think not many people pay attention to that, and this is very important. And make sure any extracurricular activities, let's say you are good in certain sports, you are maybe playing online games, we're good at it, maybe you are a bookworm, put those things. They help to show your personality, right? And as I said, the good employers don't just look at your technical knowledge or technical skills. They care about personality and how type of what type of person you are, and how good you will be in their culture, right? Because good organizations hire the employees for many years. They know that one employee came in, they're going to stay for many years. So make sure that as a person, as a personality wise, you are good. So whatever you do, right? So these things are good. Socialization activities, if you are doing, let's say in your school, college, universities, you are arranging the events, you are kind of very active in doing a lot of extracurricular activities, you are taking parts in debates and speeches and so on and so forth. So whatever you do, mention it. At least give them some idea that you are not just doing the technical stuff, you know the other stuff too. And also, last but not the least, the volunteer experience. This, in my view, the many large organizations, they do a lot of respect and care for these volunteer experience, just to make sure that you are doing some sort of community work, you are helping others with whatever you know, or whatever the way you can help. So this is very important. And as I said, like, these last 2 points are very much ignored by many people in their CVs. And I've seen that many organization which have a lot of large organizations, especially, they have a lot of social purpose also, right? So they do care about these things a lot. So especially the volunteer work, make sure you have something, add it. If you don't have something, try to spend some time in your volunteer activities just to help others out in your community. In any settings that you have, try to spend some hours just to help others without any financial benefit. If you know something, make some YouTube videos, or if you can teach some a needy student for free. A lot of people, a lot of things can do. In my view, everyone has an opportunity to do good to the society in whatever the capacity they are living in. There's always a way. You can find the way. It's not that someone have to ask you or tell you. You can just find that, yes, this guy, this person needs some help, maybe I can help him to teach something that can help them improve their life, right? So just do whatever you can do with your time and energies and knowledge that you have. So these are the sort of some of the sample resumes, right? So I will probably go through more on this one. So if you look at it, as I said, that the key things in the resume is that you have to have a few things in terms of the career objective, right? So this is a career objective. What do you want to do? So see, this person applying when they are kind of completing their graduation, right? So soon to be marketing graduate. Excuse me. So this is one thing. So you have to have some career objective, right? And definitely, if you have any experience, you see, this is kind of a newcomer, right? So they don't have a lot of industry experience, but at the same time, they're trying to present themselves as whatever they know. So this person have done some internship, so they are mentioning that they have done internship, and they are doing whatever they are doing in their internship. So objective, professional, and some project that you have done, right? At the same time, this is a one-page CV, and I really like it because it's pretty much covering whatever employer want to see. They have their contact information, they have LinkedIn profile, they are mentioning whatever the education they have. GPA is good to have. If you have GPA that worth mentioning, mention it. Otherwise, it's okay. I mean, if you are a topper or you have a good student and you have always had the great GPA, then it's worth to mention, right? Why not? And because it's a newcomer experience, right? They don't know have a lot of let's say industry certification or something like that, so they just mentioning the key courses that they have taken. And it's also a good idea actually, just to at least present them that these are the areas you have taken courses, you have the knowledge on, right? And especially now you see that skills wise, this is the marketing. They do a lot of business analysts, they use Salesforce as a tool, they use a lot of Excel sheets and Word documents and so on and so forth. So these skills, look at your key area, that what skills you can mention and show them there. Similarly, in the other one, it's more of a techie, I think, CV, it's a little bit experienced guy. And here, same thing, they have the profile, what is that they want to achieve. And he's also mentioning, this guy, he or she, that what type of role he is in currently, right? He's an architect, he's a manager. I think this guy I know is one of my friends. Company is working, is looking for a change of job, so he sent the CV to me. So contact information, LinkedIn, whatever, right? And then technical skills, because he's an experienced guy, he had done through industry, and he knows exactly what type of work is being done. So this is good for the experienced guy, this is good for the newcomer, or kind of a new guy who wants to make a career. So before going to that, I want to show you one more thing. Maybe let me see if I can pull it off. So this is my son actually, Ibrahim, CV. We're trying to make his CV, right? So I just want to give an idea that he's a high school student, he's a grade 12 student, he have no experience, nothing, right? But at least you can show off something, right? So we are mentioning the area we are in, and just the area. You don't have to give full address, right? The phone number, email ID, whatever. And at the same time, profile wise, he's a high school student, he's looking for a summer job just to gain experience. He has nothing to show right now, right? He has nothing to show off right now, but at least he's showing that I want to do all of that. Those things, skills wise, is just very generic, but at least it has to match your personality. I don't say that put blindly whatever you see good. Make sure that you are kind of is closer to your personality, right? Because eventually employer will hire you and call you for interview based on that. So it somehow has to come from your personality. Education wise, you see that these are the he's a grade 11 student, he's going to go to grade 12, but he has taken few courses, so on and so forth. So because no one expects a lot from the newcomer, so but at least you have to show them something that you are towards your career, you are trying to do something. Few certifications he's trying to do. And you see in progress, this is important. Although he has not done it, but he planned to do it sometime near future. So whatever you are planning to do near future, you can put it, right. In my view, just give them idea that you are on something, right. So this is something that it's for your consideration. At the same time, this is the experience. He have no experience. He's the grade 11 student, right? But he is doing some volunteer work. So we just put it there. Similarly, there is a one food bank. We sometimes go and do some work there. So this is what it is, right? The important thing is that uh, it has to be simple enough. At the same time, it has to capture all the essential pieces. In my view, I say one page or maybe 2 page is good enough for beginner to intermediate level experienced peoples. Don't make it super heavy, right? Any questions so far on resumes? Okay. So after building your resume, you have to make sure that you build your LinkedIn profile, right? LinkedIn profile also very important, in a sense that a lot of hirings these days, or at least a lot of job postings started happening on the LinkedIn. Although LinkedIn hiring are not typically easy, because LinkedIn is your public profile. Public, you can say that presentation or representation of your professional experience or your CV on the internet. So anyone can click and see your resume online, or your profile online, or professionally what you are doing. It's more on professional level, whereas your TikTok, your WhatsApp, your Facebook, your Instagram is your personal level, right? Try to keep them very separate. Don't put your personal stuff on LinkedIn, don't put your professional stuff on Instagram and so on, right? So just make sure that they two are separated. And people really don't like people using LinkedIn for their personal posting sort of thing. So use it for your professional posting, right? So LinkedIn again is kind of a professional profile, online professional profile. It's kind of a copy of your resume, which is always available, always accessible, and at the same time, it can have few things better than your resume, because as I said, resume I don't want to have more than 2 pages. But LinkedIn normally profile can go longer, and employer normally just look at whatever they want to look at, right? Because they can just click on that particular area and jump into that thing. And the same thing, the way you do in CV, you have to make sure in LinkedIn you post or publish your certifications, your knowledge set. And LinkedIn has an option that you can obtain recommendations, right? This is normally in the CV, we don't tend to do that. But in recommendations, the professional in the industry can recommend you for your skills, right? Yes, I work with them. I know that he has this skill, he did wonderful in that project, so on and so forth, right? The recommendation actually help imply that someone from the industry who's very well known, well respected, who has some prior experience, he's been doing well, and they are recommending you for your skills. So they put some weight on your resume or LinkedIn profile. And LinkedIn also have an option open to work. When you're seeking the job, you're searching for the job, you can put your profile open to work, so employer can know right away that you are open for work. Otherwise, there is no point of reaching someone who's already working somewhere and they're not interested in changing your job. When you are want to change your job, put yourself open to work. LinkedIn has tons of jobs, billions of jobs, but the only problem is that there are too many jobs and too many people applying for that. In normally, I've seen every job I look at, already hundred or thousands of people have applied. But anyway, it's not bad to apply. You apply on LinkedIn, and you have to make sure that your CV, your skills, your certification, your knowledge stand out. They speak for themselves. So if 1,000 people are applying, but you have done something which others have not done, then definitely you are standing out. You will be called for an interview, and hopefully it will go good. But you have to make sure that first you bring yourself to that level where you are better than others. And few tips on there are many tips on YouTube. A lot of people have put the tips how to make your LinkedIn profile attractive and what should we cover. You guys should go and do your homework. I'll show you some of the sample profiles, but at the same time, just same thing, right? Just do some study, do whatever you do in IT. Now the good thing is that a lot of information is available on YouTube videos and so on. So do some research, Google something, make sure that you use those tips and tricks to build your CV and LinkedIn profile, right? Similarly, I've given few profiles here for some students, some beginners, some experience, right? I can show you my profile maybe. So let's go through my profile. So just to give you an idea, so don't take my profile for granted. It took me 25 years to reach there, right? So just to give an idea, right? So I have my profile. You can have this background image based on your, let's say I want to focus more on network and security and architect and data center, cloud, enterprise. These are the few things I want to people to know that I am, these are my key areas of interest or something like that, just to give some idea, right? And it's good to have picture. If you don't want to show picture, it's okay, but people like to see the picture. And here you see that this area is kind of a this few, because no one wants to go through the whole profile unless it's for them, right? So I have put some keywords to gain the attention: technology management, network security, cloud practitioner, digital transformation, just to gain some attention there. These are the areas I can be helpful with, and I have some knowledge on that. And LinkedIn automatically puts where you're working right now and what is your latest or the last education status, right? So this was my last university I went to. And they come down here, and after that, this is kind of a about a statement. This is kind of a uh, objective. I put too much in there, in my view. In LinkedIn is a bit different than your CV. It can be expanded, because point is that whoever wants to read this area, they can put more time. Otherwise, they can scroll down, right? So here I know that not everyone will go through all the details. So that's the reason I try to put all the, I would say, the key areas or summary, or you can say last 25 years thing that I'm doing, I want to achieve, and I want to continue maybe next job also, right? Maybe same job, next job. So this is mainly that I want to show them that I have some experience on these areas, right? Some of the technologies I'm experienced with. And this is the thing I want to highlight. I want to show them one thing. The CCI is one of the very well respected certification in the networking domain, one of the top certification. Not many people have it in the world. When I did, it was 18,000 people in the world. Now it's probably more. This is number giving to as many people. So my number is 18,585. And I've done my master's from University of Toronto. So I want to just show them off. Not many people have it. So I just want to highlight that few things that will gain their attention. And these are the technologies I want them to make sure that if they approach me for a job, these are the technologies that I can be helpful with, right? And after that, normally it put the activities, whatever the posting you have done, just to a recruiter come and see what type of posting you are doing, right? What type of personality you have, what type of links you follow, what type of people you follow on the profile, because it's all professional, right? So they want to see your professional interest. Certifications wide, experience wide, this is my experience. This is the thing I just want to, I haven't updated it actually in last 3-4 years actually. I Because I'm in the same job, I'm not looking actively for a job. So this is been done, I think 2-3 years ago I updated last. And this again, just to give an idea in every job what I'm doing. uh, and Right, so even it has so employer want to see the full my profile, they can see that I started my career back home in Pakistan. I was working in this company. This was my first job, and I started in 1997. And then after that, I moved to another job, and then I moved to Canada, and so on and so forth. Right. So experience wide, LinkedIn is more detailed, but don't worry about that. If you don't have much, at the same time, you can make a profile based on whatever you know. So as I said, volunteer experience, make sure in your CV or wherever you do, whatever the volunteer activities you do, you have to make sure you capture that, right? Skill wise, whatever the skills you want to mention, and this is important, right? Look at LinkedIn has a recommendation section. So these are the few people I work with, and they give me recommendations. Some of them give me recommendation without asking. Sometimes you can ask for recommendation. So both ways are fine. And LinkedIn give you an option that if someone giving you a recommendation, you want to post it, or I can just turn it off and it will not be visible publicly, right? So this is Paul. He was my colleague. He was a salesman. I was his sales architect. And same for Cecile. She was the sales man. I was the saleswoman, and I was the doing the architect for her. Steve was my colleague. He retired recently. Victor was working. He's from Romania. He was working with me. So a lot of people I work with, right? I mean, the Tarek, he came in the first lecture. He's my colleague. You can take the recommendation from your colleague, from your bosses, from your peers. Even this guy Dugan was our vendor. He was supplying us few things, and we were working very closely, and he was a good friend of me. So we were working as the vendor and the partner relationship. At the same time, he was a technically very good, and he was very happy working us together. So he gave me recommendation, right? So this is it, right? So this give that people from the industry are recommending you, and based on your skills or kind of work you do, kind of work ethics you have, kind of way you do the things. And at the same time, I have given recommendations to the many people, right? So this is also, they can come and see that what type of recommendation I have given. You can see I have recommended few peoples, right? So so this is the thing, right? So LinkedIn all about that you can have more than your CV, and employer can jump into the area that they want to focus more. Any questions so far? Okay, so interview preparation, I will go quickly. Interview preparation, you have to make sure that you have the good knowledge, you have done the certifications, you have make a good CV, you have made spend time on making your LinkedIn profile, and after that you start applying, and you got an interview call. So in the interview, make sure that uh, do some homework before the interview. This is very important. Who do your homework. This is again, I always say the people that don't go blind, just say that don't go through your CV only. You make sure that when you're going for interview, try to do some research on the company, try to do some work and see that what type of business they are in, what type of product they are selling or giving to their customers. And this shows that you are coming prepared, you know the company, you know their services, you know what type of things they do, and this shows your passion and energy that you are doing your homework, right? So don't just go for interview. Make yourself some give yourself some time and study about the company that you are going to give the interview. Also, even it's online interview or in-person interview, you have to dress up formally. Even if the company culture, most of the IT employers are don't dress up formally, right? They, unless they are the sales people or the customer facing people, most of the IT employees, they do just normally do casual dressing. It's okay to do casual dressing in your day-to-day work, but important thing is that when you're going for interview, you have to dress up formally. A lot of people like that shows your personality, that you're taking the interview very serious, you're dressing up formally, you're not very casual, you're not coming in your t-shirts and all that, right? So make sure that you dress up formally, whatever the formal dress one could have, and show them your seriousness. You have, in the interview, you have to at least show your passion, energy, and seriousness, that you are very serious about this job. You have done your homework for the company knowledge. You are showing and dressing up very formally. And even sometime it's online interview. In the online interview, most of the interview time, they ask you to turn on your camera. This is, I think, almost a must. In the interviews, they will ask you to turn on your camera, so you have to make sure that you dress up formally. Boys, normally, I would say that uh, dress shirt, dress pant, a tie at least. If you don't wear a tie, it's fine. At least dress pant, dress shirt. If you want to have a coat, better to have it. So at least I know that culture-wise, maybe they none of them in the group would be wearing it. It could be they might be coming in jeans and in their bermudas and all that. But at the same time, because you are going for a job, so you have to show your eagerness and your seriousness, right? So don't worry about their culture. Go with your formal dressing. And also be ready for your technical question as well as non-technical question, HR question, they call it soft skills questions. So both are important. For the technology what you are in, you have to be prepared. Make sure that all the key concepts you are good projects, and make sure that you go through your CV, you read your CV, whatever the technical things you have written in your CV, you have to be very much familiar with what you have written in your CV. Read your CV again and again, at least one time before the interview. Make sure that you read your CV, and also do some research on the YouTube. You'll find a lot of HR questions, soft skills based questions, and Google and YouTube have tons of videos on that, right? What type of HR question, networking question, and if let's say I have put some common question for the cybersecurity and networking, right? So if you are coding your data analyst, you can normally search for YouTube what are the common questions for cybersecurity, and that same thing you can search for HR skill, soft skills questions, or where you see yourself in 5 years. What are your, let's say, top skills, what are your deficiencies, and what are your negatives. So you have to get ready for all of that. Especially, you see, prepare yourself for with this question, tell me about yourself. This is a very good opportunity. This give you a 2-3 minutes opportunity to change the direction of the interview. At least give the interviewer a chance to tell about yourself in a way that the next question they ask you in that direction, right? Maybe you say that this is me, I've done this bachelor's or master's or this certification or this course, and this is what I am doing, this is the project I've done, I'm very interested in that. So maybe give them an idea that these are the areas you're good at, and these are the areas they should ask questions on, right? So tell them about your achievement, tell them about your project, tell them about your certification, tell them about your passions, tell them that what you want to do. These are 2-3 minutes, actually, not much, but this is a good opportunity to tell it about yourself, and better to prepare a paragraph or few paragraphs, and practice it in front of the mirror to make sure that you're comfortable in saying it in front of your interviewer, right? Know your top skills, right, in the CVs that you are interested in. They will ask you about what you don't like about yourself. You have to, whatever you have to say in the interview, you have to say it positive, right? Yeah, it has to be a positive tone, in a sense that tell me about something which is negative about you or don't like about yourself. You have to say something. I mean, sometimes I like take my job very seriously and work too hard, and I take my projects too serious, and sometimes it affect my family. Although it's kind of negative, but at the same time positive, right? You're doing your work very seriously, and so it's hurting your family. But you have to put it in a way that it end up positive for your, or it end up in your favor, right? Why should we hire you? You have to tell them why they should hire you. You have to present yourself as to be a right fit for their organization. So you have to tell them the reasons why they should hire you. Salary expectation is one of the things that is always bit tricky, in a sense that you cannot say too much, and you don't want to say too less, right? So in my view, do some research. If you have a friend or coworker or someone who's working in that company, it's ideal. They can give you exact range company have. If they don't have a range, at least do some research in the industry, what is going on, the market rate for that job, right? In my view, sometimes it's not safe to give a salary. So you have to give them a range, right? So because you don't know how much budget they have, maybe you tell them and they will think that is this guy is too expensive to hire, and you sometimes they have more budget and you tell them less, they will hire you less. So in my view, if they insist, right, then you tell them a broader range, right? Let's say a big range, so you have some chance to negotiate, right? So these are the few things for your interview tips. And professional references, always references are good. Sometimes in big companies, they always ask for the resume references, mean that someone can, they can call an email and they can endorse you, right? Most of the time people have started using email and they send a form to fill it in. I have filled in many forms, and I've also, when I apply in my last job, I have to ask some of my colleague, my ex-boss actually, to fill it for me. So they want to just make sure that someone from the industry can say yes or no about the skills that you have mentioned and whatever you have said in your interview or in your CV, right? So normally, I mean, whatever people you know in your area, definitely you all can use me as a reference, but make sure that you don't lie. At least because if some call comes to me and I know you, I will just tell you what I know about you, right? I will not know if someone is saying things which I don't know. So at least my approach is that whenever I know that when applying for a job and they will ask for a reference, I call the reference that this is a job I'm applying, this is a position it is, and I'm telling you, I'm showing you as my, let's say, Xbox, because the last job I showed someone that I worked with him in Pakistan, right? And now luckily he's in Canada also. So we worked together in Pakistan. He was my manager. So I told him that you're gonna get a call or an email, and they will ask me about you. So I didn't lie. I just tell them that we worked together in this company for this much time, and I was working under you, and we are doing this network installations and so on and so forth. So you just make sure that your referencee is ready. He knows when you receive an email or a call. Don't just expect that, because emails can go into a spam folder. Email call can be missed. So you have to make sure that they should be ready for a unknown number call, or maybe an email, and what you are telling them as, right? You are telling them as your colleague or boss or your co-worker or ex-worker or whatever, right? So always, sometimes people say that mention your supervisors, right? So if you think that your sometimes supervisors are not very, uh, I mean, I would say that supervisors are not very much willing to give you as a good reference, right? So if your supervisor is not willing to give you as a good reference, not necessarily give your supervisor, give someone, right? Maybe give a colleague or co-worker, right? Tell them that for reference they will take anything, right? They will rely on you to give the name of the reference. But always giving a reference to your boss is always good, because you report it to them, they can tell you more about your personality, but you have to make sure that your boss was happy with you. Otherwise a lot of time it can result in a negative. If boss is giving a negative feedback about your personality, maybe they say that is very good in technology wise, he knows the stuff, but he is lazy or she is lazy, or he doesn't do on the time, it is not punctual, it's not disciplined. Although they will endorse your technical skill, but they will not endorse your personality, that goes against you, right? So you have to make sure someone who can give the positive reference about you. So that's important. Job hunting, right? So job hunting is a long process, I would say. It's not, don't expect that you know something and you'll get a job next day, right? So job hunting is more or less full-time job, I would say. Finding a job itself is a full-time job, as I say, right? So make sure that you spend time on searching the job, and this takes some time. Okay, so you go through your contacts and your friends or your colleagues, and just tell the people that you are looking for job. it's important to reach to the people in your network or around in the network or LinkedIn profile, open to work, and make sure your people around you knows that you're looking for a job. So if something comes, they can forward you. LinkedIn job search technique, spend some time on learning it in the YouTube videos, how to search for the jobs and tag it. And they put some notification. LinkedIn can set a notification. They can send you a lot of online job profile. Indeed is very famous that can send you emails and notification when you're looking for certain jobs and the jobs are posted on the internet. And keep looking for newspaper. Upwork newspaper are not very common now. Not many people are using newspaper to find a job now. But anyway, still government jobs still comes on newspaper because as a process they have to publish jobs and so on. So when if you are jobless looking for a job, take finding a job or searching for a job is a full-time job. So spend 2 3 4 hours just sitting on the internet looking for things, and that finding a job itself is a full-time job, right? So before interview, just make sure that you do the research for the company, you read your stuff. Let's say this is networking and cybersecurity, but other than that, whatever the field or domain you are applying, you make sure that you prepare yourself for that. And good luck with your job searching, right? And you have to be feel confident. At least is a good quote from Cheryl that feeling confident or pretend to be feel confident is necessary, right? So you have to make sure that you show your confidence. You have to tell them that you are capable, you are trust worthy, and you can deliver them what they are looking for, right? Give them some confidence. And it's not a rocket science, it's a matter of just practicing the things. First interview, second interview, third interview might not go very well, but make sure that after every interview take certain note that things that went well, things didn't go well, and practice those things, read those concepts. Some time people will ask for the question that you know, sometimes people will ask for the question which you don't know, some in between. So if you know, tell them very clearly. If you don't know, tell them that I am not ready, I don't know about this thing, I'll read about it. But if you know a little bit, you can tell them a little bit and say that I know, I have some basic knowledge or understanding. But if you don't know something, don't just start talking and nonsense, right? So just tell them that I don't know this thing. So most of the reasonable people accept that fact that because they know that not everyone knows everything. So not knowing something is not a bad thing. Clearly saying that no, I don't know about these things, please ask me something else. So this is fine. Because a lot of time I see that I go to for interviews and people ask things. I ask things to people and they start telling all the nonsense. I mean, if you don't know something, just say it. I don't know. This is not my area, or I have not studied about it. I will study in the next interview, right? So it's okay to be saying no, right? You don't have to say yes to everything because you have certain areas, you have certain skills that you have mentioned in your CV. If they ask you about those skills, you should speak up. If skill is not mentioned and they are asking, then you have a right to say no, right? Because this is not you have mentioned as your skill in your CV, right? So this is what it is actually. So this was my last slide. I would say that let's if someone has any questions, so yeah, let's go through that. But in summary, these are the 8 tips, I would say, 8 steps to make sure that you have all of that, right? Anyone has any questions or comment? Yes or no?
Could you show us the examples again on the resumes, like example resumes?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So resume, as I said, there are many resumes. Let me show you some examples. So I think I shared. These are the few examples. Let me go to a real resume, right? So I think in the folder we have. So in the shared folder, I put some sample resumes, right? They are for some of the few people. You can look at it, and this is for the Frank resume that we so last time. Some of them are for student, some of them are for, let's say, professionals or newcomers and all that, right? So let's say this is for one of the there was one of the girl in the last course. She was doing some courses. She was doing online work actually in Canada, actually from Pakistan. And it was, so this is sample, right? Format at least is good, I would say, right? You see the address, Gulshan Iqbal, Karachi, Pakistan. That's good enough. You don't have to mention the exact address, right? Education, whatever the education you have, certifications if you have any. You see, it's not a very industry oriented certificate. It's more of a localized certificate, right? A English language certificate or participation certificate. It's okay if you don't have anything, at least something to show. But in my view, you should try to get more industry certification. This is one of the very simple. So you guys should go through these just to see some of the sample resumes, right? And as I said, Ibrahim resume I showed you, and this is again a beginner's resume for someone who wants to do a technical sales kind of thing, cybersecurity technical sales, but still doesn't know or doesn't have any experience here. This is again a sample resume. And as I said, uh, give me a second for this. So in this CV, you see that all these certifications are freeware, right? All these are free courses, free things, that nothing is, you didn't pay for anything. So this is important. So, and it looks good actually, if you look at it, right? Someone looking at the employer will look at it, it says a fresher, you have done all these courses, this certification. So it looks, it gives some weight, right? It gives some respect. So this is important in your field. Do whatever the free courses, free certifications, even something in progress in the other CV will see that you can put it in progress. At least tell them that you are working in that direction, right? And these all are the free, were the free actually. This is not free, is not free anymore. And same thing, put whatever the experience if you have, he's doing as a I mean he's doing some sort of part-time job sort of thing, so whatever it. And in the end, education you have, let's say he's going to university, so he's putting that I'm in progress doing this thing, September till date, and high school is done. And if you have any association, any volunteership, anything, whatever, right? Although these things sometimes is not heavy, is not really much of the, you say you are going to a university, you just join a student group or something, right? But at least it's good to show that you are doing something other than your anyone else, right? So always show yourself good, right? Show yourself. In a sense, you can look at it this way. This is LinkedIn profile. This is what you want to achieve. Just give a very quick that this is, you want to make a career in that direction. And this is email, this is your phone number and all that. And profile wise, you just putting the stories here that I am very dynamic, professional, keen, interested, some keywords just to gain some attention. And like just so you have to, in the first job, in the first CV, you have to make things up, but make things up as per your personality, right? Don't just make things up doesn't match your personality. You have to match your personality. You see, these are the skills. These are generic one internet keywords, but at the same time, it has to match your career aspiration and your personality, right? So whatever you do, it has to somehow come close to your personality, right? This is one of the guy who was doing technical, looking for a very techy job. He's done a lot of certification, but he's a beginner. So he's a beginner. He's again gone through the some courses, lab exercise, lab practices. He took a course. He during the course, 6 month course, he went through all these technologies. He's just mentioning that I know all of these things, right? And he has done certain certifications, and he has done a project, right? Is what to mention the project. So in my view, it's a good experience. And other than that, he was not doing a very techy job, right? He was wellness living. Wellness living is like an, like nothing. It's just like a social media thing. Similarly, he was doing a tech support job in Apple, or LA Fitness is like a gym. So whatever it is, you mention it, and you said that I this is what I have done, because it's a beginning of my career, but at the same time, I've attained this knowledge, this certification, these skills, this project, so I am ready to adopt the new career. So in the first job, it's okay. I mean, don't people don't expect you to be a rocket scientist, right? Similarly, this guy is kind of new, and he's searching for a job. He is new to Canada. He was working in Karachi before, and so he made a CV, one page CV, fairly good, I would say. Not very heavy. Is to tell him that what type of job he's looking for, what he have done before, although it might not be very relevant, but at the same time, it's okay. I mean, so resume has to be to the point. It doesn't have to be very heavy, right? If you are having 5-10 years experience, this is, I think, a senior guy resume. He's been working for 10-15 years, and he's looking for a job. He's in Dubai right now, and look at his CV. It's kind of heavy CV. He have done a lot of project, a lot of company experience. He have 3 pages, 4 pages, I don't know, 3 pages. Good size, right? And on the left hand side, on he's putting all the key skills and key knowledge areas or certifications he has. So this is a good. So for you, if you are a beginner, go for beginning thing. If you are a senior, you have peer experience, then present it that way. So it depends, right? So which area you are in, and then make your CV accordingly, right? So yes, so you guys can come here. I think this you all have access to that thing. If you don't have access, I will let me know. If you don't see the sample resume part, then you should be able to go through that and make sure that your CV and LinkedIn are made accordingly. Any other questions?
Okay, I have a question. Um, is it better to work remotely or on-site job? And in the future, what makes attractive for the experience, remotely or on-site?
Well, definitely online attracts every one of us, right? I mean, we don't have to commute. We don't have to go to the office. We can save time in commute. We can save time in this fatigue of getting ready, pressing the clothes, and like, so online is convenient for everyone. And even is online helping the employers too, because what employers start doing is that a lot of new employers especially, they start saving the cost on the real estate, right? They have to first, before they used to take big offices space, right? And big office space they have to take, and they have to make sure that every employee get a seat, and they have to arrange space for them, telephone lines and all that. So they are saving cost on the real estate now. They are not investing on this office desk or office phones or things, right? They just send you a laptop at home and you work from home, and they sometimes pay you for your internet connection. So it's convenient for them. But at the same time, while online is good, it has many plus, it has certain negatives too, right? Because with online, you don't have that uh, social contact, right? The personal contact, the when you meet someone, because a lot of time when you go to office, you meet people on coffee or lunch breaks or prayer breaks or maybe some cigarette breaks. So a lot of time people socialize, they talk to each other, and that helps you a lot in professional life. Everything is a social connection when you, because we don't get the things done on our own, right? We always work with a team. I'm doing something, you are doing something, we collectively doing a project, some part of the project done by someone, some part other one. So when you meet people, you connect with them, it helps you to build a social connection, is a personal connection, and connections always helps in the career. In the life, connections always help. Social connection in your life, your friends, your family always give you a moral boost, and they are important. Same thing in professional life. Your connection in the professional life is important. So it takes time to build that connection over the online when you go attend the Zoom meetings or Google meetings. But in person, always you do it quickly. So, in my view, they most of the employer now they're going for the hybrid approach, right? So they allow you to work 3 days a week, but at the same time they want you to office 2 days a week or one day a week. But a lot of remote work, let's say if you want to work for a company in Europe or America, then definitely you are working 100% online. So, but now that depends, right? But if your company is working locally, they would prefer, and I think this is the approach, at least in Canada and US, is happening now. People are going for hybrid approach, 3 days remote, 2 days in person, or one day in person at least. So, and this is a good model in a sense. At least you have the social connection, you build your personal network. But at the same time, it's okay. Also, when I joined my this job, I joined in right in the middle of the COVID actually. And COVID, you know that everything was frozen. There's no office space. Everyone was working remotely. So I didn't go to office for 1 year actually, right? So for me, it was very different. I am kind of a more social person. I want to talk to people. But it was okay. It went okay. And after 1 year, I met my team and my manager. Actually, my manager I met after 3 years because I was in Toronto. He was in Vancouver. So it took us 3 years to meet. But anyway, regardless, right? So with online, things are changing. Uh, Personal connection is important, but now things are getting improved. In my view, online people sometimes take it for granted. People don't take it seriously. People don't open their videos, and people don't like it. In my view, a lot of customer or one's employer wants to see the that how attentive you are in the meetings. You are taking notes. You are listening. The conversation is not that you are going on your phones during the important meetings. So if you are online, attending online, make sure that you are ready to open your camera and participate in the discussion, show your attentiveness. But from the cultural perspective, industry perspective, industry is going hybrid based. If you are locally in that area, otherwise for the remote works is online for sure, right? Any other questions? Dua, Fatma, Ayan, anything? Alicia? So okay, no problem. So I'll share this deck so you guys can start working on your resumes and LinkedIn and fine tune it if it is not up to the mark, right? And resume and LinkedIn take some time. Spend some time. Don't rush into it. If you're going through some courses and studies, uh, keep working on it. But important thing is that focus on certification and get some projects based or lab based experience, right? That helps you because not many people have projects or labs to demonstrate. They have certification sometimes, they have some courses they have done, but not everyone has hands-on experience. So go through some of these hands-on experience or project-based thing that will at least make your CV better than others, right? It will stand out with thousand others CVs because the challenge with the employer is that they get too many CVs and they have to filter out, right? So if some CV has the things that not other have, then that definitely that will stand out, right? To make your skills good and constantly make sure that you are on the study path, and this is a lifetime study, right? And you have to become better self of what you do, your area, whatever it is. You have to be better than others. You have to be better than average. You have to be better than basic knowledge. You have to be better than intermediate, in my view. And with the knowledge we have available online these days, is not a rocket science. It's simple, just putting few hours and efforts and making sure brushing up the concepts, clearing up the concept. If you are not getting cleared, go through YouTube videos, search on the internet, you will get it cleared. Make your concepts clear and practice your concepts. You make sure that present whatever you have gained the knowledge and experience, present it nicely in your CV and your LinkedIn profile. So you have to make sure that you learn it, then you present it well, right? So marketing yourself, presenting yourself with your CV, your LinkedIn profile, your interviews is more of a selling your skills. That's fine, but important thing is first to get yourself ready, right? Bring it to that level that you can sell yourself, because in professional world we all are selling our skills, right? We all are labor to the larger market. I'm a labor, I'm working in IT, you all will be labor class to the IT, but end of the day, it's not a big deal. We all are selling our skills, and that is perfectly fine. We all have to sell a skill, but we have to make sure that you gain the skills, you gain the knowledge, and you sell it at the best rate, right? So yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey, constant journey, learning and making sure that you keep improving our skills, our knowledge, our personality, not just the technical knowledge. You have to work on your soft skills, your personality, how you present, how you talk, how good you are in communicating the concept. Because communication is very important. Because even if you are not in sales, it's not that only sales people communicate and talk. A lot of time technical people have to communicate the concepts and ideas and their solutions to the team, internal team, external team, customers. So you have to make sure that you can present it nicely. In less word you can achieve more. Make sure that your presentation skills are good. You are able to make some good diagrams and block diagrams just to present the concepts. So yes, so make yourself presentable, make your skills speak for themselves, make your knowledge stand out, do spend more time than others, become better than others. And it's not a rocket science. I'm telling you, tons of knowledge available, tons of skills set you can develop on your own with the Google courses, with IBM courses, with free courses, and a lot of industry opportunities are there. So you have to spend 6 months to a year or so just to make sure you do what you do is good. And then you start searching for job. Trust Allah, do your best, pray, and keep working on it, right? It's a constant journey. Finding a job, it takes some time, definitely. It needs some patience, finding a first job for sure. But if you are good in what you do, you will find an opportunity. I'm telling you, the best thing to make money and be good in your career, you become so good that people will run after you to gain your attention or gain your skills and to hire you and all that, right? So you have to bring yourself to that level, right? So make yourself better than others. Don't just be an average guy. Don't just be an average person. Just become better than average. Okay. So once you are better than average, you have a skills which are rare to find, hard to find. You know something, you know the coding skills, data science skill, you know the tool, you are very good at it, and it's not easy to find that skill. Then you will be paid more. You will be getting job offers one after another. So right now your role is to make sure you gain and spend some time in gaining the knowledge, that you become better than others. That's the whole thing. So right now, a lot of time you have seen in the previous classes, people are asking that, how do I find a job, how do I get a job? You will get everything. You have to make sure that first you are ready for that. Okay.
Okay, I have a question which could be irrelevant, but as you spent 25 years in this professional industry, so the question is that, which is very basic, how to manage daily routine? Because it's, I think, very tough thing in our daily life.
Well, the thing is that these days is tough. I agree. At especially the social media is bringing a lot of negative to our life, in a sense that we all are. It's not just that you, it's me also, right? We all spend too much time on social media and with WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and all this the crap, right? This, unfortunately, this gains our attention. And with social media, one bad thing happened across the board for everyone. The span of attention has reduced a lot. We are not able to focus our attention for a long period of time. This is very bad, and this is where we all have to cut down our social media usage. And the best way to plan your day, I would say that plan your day around like prayer times and all that. That's the best way to plan your day, right? And waking up early, I'm telling you the best thing. A lot of kids spend late night hours, right, in studying, because they think is a more focused time and all that. In my view, with my experience, the best time of the day to achieve to do more in less time is the morning time. That's after Fajr time or something like that, right? So from Fajr till even in my productivity, in my I see that I'm more productive in first few hours of my work, right? And I was working in Dubai, like in Etisalat, and we used to have two options: working from 7 till 3:30 or 4, and 8 to 4 something. I and most of the people adopted 7, because the moment you start early in the morning, you will realize that when you start early in the morning, your mind is very active. You start achieving more in less time. And I was noticing that between 7 till 10, right, 3 hours, I was getting almost a whole day job done, right? So in my view, plan your day in a way that you get best out of the morning hours. And this is the way of life should be, the way human body is made, right? Your body wants to relax, and night is meant to be relaxed. When your body cells are rebuilt and reconstructed and all that, you start spending day hours in sleeping, then definitely your body is not gaining that energy back. So if you plan your day in a way that you're making use of the daytime, especially the early morning hours. Second thing is that cut down your social media usage, and plan your day around your prayer times. That's the best way. That between Zohar to Asar, Fajr to Zohar, something like that, right? And you have to be do things differently than other people do. A lot of people, especially everywhere in the world, it's not just Pakistan, is that social media is spending time, wasting time, sitting outside in coffee shops, and you have to focus, in my view, right? So spend 3 4 hours a day, with at least in the beginning of the career, at least 2 3 hours studying, and keep doing it for 6 months. The important thing is that people are not able to do is they're not able to do things consistently. They start something with a lot of passion, and then passion goes away and dies in few weeks, and they go back to the old routine. Same thing goes to these people doing weight loss and gym and all that. They start with a lot of passion, a lot of friends start, and eventually you see that after 3 weeks not many people are there. Same thing in this class. If you see, remember, first class we have 45 people, then people start reducing and going away. It's okay, some people might not have the interest, but at the same time, when you start something, you have to keep doing it until you become good at it. You have to consistently doing it, and you have to keep doing it for weeks and months, and until you achieve your first goal of finding a job and all that, right? So consistency, self discipline, regulating your own self, making your own schedule, and sticking to that schedule. Making sure, if you make a schedule that you have to wake up 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you wake up, you do your routine in the morning, you start your things, and you stick to that. Making a routine and sticking to a routine is a very important thing. I was reading one of the speech of someone, and they're saying that important thing is to get up in the morning, and fixing your bed is the first thing that you should do. If you are able to do it that successfully, that makes that you're a disciplined person. You wake up, you make your bed, you start your routine, you're continuously doing that routine, and you're doing it every day. It's not that weekend you wake up at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. No, you have to wake up every day on a certain time. You do your routine. If weekend, okay, fine, you can have some relaxing hour. You don't do that exact same routine. You have some time to relax, enjoy with family, watch movies or whatsoever. But important thing is that follow certain routine, make yourself that you are self-regulatory and self-disciplined. And this is how I know it's not that easy, but only you can do that, right? It's not that I can tell you, and you have to make yourself self-regulatory, put your alarms on, and make your routine around that, right? So without having a schedule, without having a disciplined life, it's not easy to achieve the things, right? And don't follow the crowd blindly. Not that every other kid is spending whole night waking up and sleeping at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. No, you have to away from the crowd. Make your own routine. Follow that routine. You have to be different than others, right? So you want to be better than others. You have to stand out in the crowd. So whenever whoever is standing out in the crowd, look at them. They are different than others. Look at the uh, all the top guys in the world right now, all the billionaires, right? Elon Musk or whoever you see, right? Look at their history, what they are doing. Most of them, if you read them, they are waking up 4 o'clock at night. Although they are not Muslim, they are not praying Fajr and all that. They wake up 4 o'clock at night. They know that uh, the time they spend in the morning, they take shower, they start doing the gym, and 5 o'clock till 7 8, they are done most of the work. Right? They go to bed 7 8 9. So look at these people. They are able to achieve more than average people. Why? They have a routine. Look at every single top guys. You will find something unique in their personality, the way they are disciplined themselves. Right? So look at Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or the guy who was the previous owner of the Twitter and all that. So what I'm saying, that self-regulation and self-discipline and making your own routine and sticking to a routine is very critical, very important. That and only you can do that. Okay, I think if nothing else, then we can wrap it up, and yeah. So I will share this deck. This deck, career counseling deck, is more on network and cybersecurity, but it has a lot of generic information. You have to make sure that for your own domains to go for that study cycle, those certification, those labs and projects. But yeah, follow that thing. Make sure that give yourself 6 months to a year time. Do study a hard. Give yourself a lot of spare time to study, practice, brush up, make sure you're better than others, and keep applying for job. Maybe you will not hear from any recruiters or any interview call for next few months, but keep doing it. Keep doing it. I've Frank came here last time, and Frank got a job on a CV that he applied somewhere, a very old CV 6 months ago. Although he has a latest CV, but he got an interview call on a CV he sent 6 months ago. So you have to constantly doing it. Don't worry about it. Sometimes I know that people get disheartened. They stop applying. No, you cannot be disheartened. You cannot stop applying. You have to keep doing it until you find the job. You don't have to lose the hope. Finding a first job is always tough. I know that it's not easy, but you have to keep doing it until you get it. That's the only way. Persistence is the only way, right? So keep doing the study, certification, exam, keep applying and keep applying regularly, tirelessly, and you have to be good in what you do. Finding a job itself is a job, right? So this is my last summary, that you have to be consistent, you have to be persistent, you have to have patience. And even if you get a few bad interviews, you don't get the job, you are sometime in they treat very harshly in the interview, that's also fine, that's also an experience. After each interview, see what went wrong and improve that for the next interview, right? So plan it well, study it well, work hard, be better than others, right? That's the best way to success in the career. Okay, then, if none, then we can wrap it up. And Eid Mubarak to everyone. I think we'll connect next week. It's very important session, AI session. I hope it will be an interesting one. So make sure that you must join. And inshallah, enjoy your meet and enjoy your Eid. And make sure have some good time, relaxed time with families before connecting next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.